to my YouTube channel TechAJ, where we discuss different microcontroller related circuits, its Proteus design, and observe the simulation output. So please do subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications about my newly uploaded videos. For any query, you can reach out to me through a mail.
In this video, we are going to understand the algorithm for the selection sort, and we will write the Java program to perform the sorting of an array using this selection sort technique. Here, we have taken an array of size 5. Here, we will apply the selection sort technique to sort this array in an ascending order. Now, first of all, I will represent these elements in the form of blocks so that we can easily understand the comparison between the elements. Now, how selection sort works? In selection sort, what we do, we select one of the element and compare this element with the remaining elements. If any element we found in the remaining element which is smaller than this selected element, we swap that element with the selected element. Okay. Now, here the first element has been selected, which is 3. Now we'll compare this 3 with the adjacent element, which is 5. Okay. So if you see 5 is not smaller than 3. So what we'll do? There will not be any swapping between these two elements because 3 is smaller compared to the 5. So what we'll do? We compare this 3 with the next element, that is 2. Now in this case 2 is smaller. So what we'll do? We'll perform the swapping of 2 with the first element. So 2 will go to the selected element's position, that is first element position. Okay. Now our selected element becomes 2 now. That is means we have selected the element at a first position. So at first position now we are having the element 2. So this element will be compared with the remaining elements, that is 1 and 4. So 2 will be compared first with 1. Now again 1 is smaller compared to the 2. So again we'll swap these two elements. Now our selected element becomes 1. Okay. So this selected element again compared with the remaining. Now we have compared up to 2. So this 1 will be compared with the 4. Now 4 is not smaller compared to the 1. So there will not be any swapping. So in this way, in one iteration of comparison, that means we have selected first element and compared this first element with the remaining all. And in this one iteration, if observe, we have found the smallest element at the first position. Okay. So out of this 5 elements, 1 is the smaller, so that we have got at the first position. Now once comparison of first element with the remaining all element has been completed, what we do? We select the next element. That is, we will select the 5 and repeat the same operation. That means 5 will be compared with the 3. If smaller, then perform the swapping operation. 3 will come to this position again. Again 3 will be compared with the 2. 2 is smaller, so again perform the swapping. So 2 will come to this position. Again 2 will be compared with the 4. So 4 is not smaller, so there will not be any swapping, and we will get the 2 at this position. In this way, in every cycle, we keep on selecting one element and compare that selected element with the remaining elements. In this way, the selection sort algorithm works. Now we will write the Java program to understand how to write the program for this selection sort algorithm. Here we have taken one array with some random values into it. Now we will write some logic to sort this array using the selection sort. Now logic is very simple. We have to use two nested for loop. That means one for loop inside another. Now how this logic works? First for loop. This for loop is used for selecting one element at a time from the array. Okay. We have seen that first of all we'll select the first element and compare with the remaining. So this for loop will select one element from this array. Once we have selected one element, for comparison with all other elements, we have taken another for loop. So this inside for loop will compare selected element with the remaining elements in an array. So for loop we'll take one iterator, that is integer, some variable, suppose I. It will be initialized to the 0 because we have to start selecting the element from the 0th position. Then value of I will be less than length of an array. Okay. And for every iteration, the value of I will be incremented by 1. Similarly, we have to take one iterator variable for the inside for loop. We will take j. Now, once 0th element has been selected, we have to compare it with the remaining element. That means selected element plus 1. So, we can say that the iterator j will be initialized to the selected element I plus 1. So I is the selected element and j can represent the element with which we are going to compare. Okay. So value of j will be less than length of an array, and for every iteration the value of j also get incremented. Now here comes the logic. By using iterator I, we have selected one element, and by using iterator j, we have taken element for the comparison. Now we have two elements. How to compare? For that, we use the if statement. A of I, that means the element at ith position, that is 0th position, will be compared with the A of j. A of j. J is nothing but I plus 1, that is nothing but 0 plus 1, this element. If this element is greater than this, okay, that means if A of I is greater than A of j, we have to perform the swapping operation. So inside this if, we'll write the logic for the swapping. Now logic for the swapping is very simple. We have to store this value into some temporary variable, suppose integer temp. Okay. So value of A of I will store into the temporary variable. Once we have the value of A of I into the temporary variable, we'll copy the value of A of j into the A of I. Okay. So A of I will get the value of A of j. Now, once we copied the value of A of j into the A of I, now we can copy the value of temporary variable into the A of j. So here, A of j will get the value of 10. In this way, for every iteration of this inside for loop, one element will be get sorted. In the next iteration, this I will get incremented. It will select next element, compare this next element with all remaining elements, and perform the sorting operation. So at the end of these two for loops, our element in array A will get sorted. Now we have to display the sorted element. For that, we will write simple logic. First of all, I will display the message sorted element. And we have to display the elements of array. So for displaying the elements of array, we'll use the for loop. Again, for integer I is equal to 0, I less than length of array, and I plus plus. Inside this, we write the elements of an array, or we'll pass the elements of array to the print function. So it will iterate till the length of array, and every time it will print one element of that array. Now let's run the program and check the output. Okay. Now if you see, here we have got the sorted element. Okay. Smallest element first, then next, and so on. So 12, 23, 34, 87 and 657. So the original array values are like this, which is in random order, and after the sorting we have got the elements in a ascending order.